Hey guys, so I do have some details to share with you about the weekend, but before we do that, I just want to take a second and just celebrate what a great weekend we had last weekend. You know, as you know, it was Mother's Day. We were celebrating moms. We were honoring moms. We talked about how Mother's Day is one of the biggest weekends we had, and it was so great to just take a step back and just observe the red shirts in action. And I have to tell you, you guys are killing it. You are so attentive to each guest that is either walking in the foyer or coming onto the property. I just saw, big smiles and interactions, and it was so great. So I just want to take a second and honor each and every one of you. It's such a blessing to the chapel to just see our red shirt, team being passionate to serve at the capacity that you guys are serving. We always say that the red shirts, it's a next level serving opportunity, and you guys are doing such an amazing job. You could tell that you're doing it just out of a servant's heart, and I just want to say thank you for that, because it really is making a difference. And how I know it's making a difference is a story I want to share with you. I personally was out in the community this week, or actually it was a couple weeks ago, but I had a gentleman come up to me and say, I know you from somewhere. I know, you look really familiar. And I kind of, smiled. And he started to perceive, he recognized me, and he realized where he recognized me from. And he was like, you're from the chapel. You wear one of those red shirts. And I smiled and I said, yeah, and making that conversation with him. But then he proceeded to share with me the impact that he has had at the chapel and the experience that he has encountered with some of our first impression team in our red shirts. So it was really cool. The biggest thing he talked about is even his first encounter out in the parking lot with one of our volunteers out there, and just how kind they were and how welcoming they were. And that was his first encounter. And then he came into the foyer of the worship center, and he was greeted by our red shirts, and he actually had his baby with him, and he was holding his baby, and he proceeded to just share with us how welcoming, and even we were connecting with his child that he was holding, and just how friendly we were, and how it just blew him away. And this is a man that, he proceeded to share with me that he used to be in ministry. He was a youth pastor, and never in his life has he experienced just the love of Christ like he did when he came onto the chapel property. So huge win, not just for the red shirts, but, for, the parking, the first impressions parking volunteers that are out there. But it's important for us to share these wins. I think it brings encouragement, and then allow us to see, what the impact that we're having in our community, at our church, and, the bigger picture, for his kingdom. So I just wanted to celebrate that win with you guys. Also, getting to the weekend, want to share with you something that is happening. June is coming up really quickly. We are going to be launching our Connect groups, which is super exciting. So the Connect group launch will be happening. We're going to start advertising the groups this weekend. So some of the ways we're going to be doing that is doing texting a keyword. The communicator in the worship experience during service will be encouraging people to get their cell phones out, text the word attend to the 97,000, and then they will receive a response back with a link to all the Connect groups. We have over 50 Connect groups that are available this summer. It's going to be great. I want to encourage you, if you are not leading one, if you're not connecting in a Connect group, that is your next step. Find that community. It's what we share here at the chapel. It's one of the things, we talk about how important it is for us to know God, to discover purpose, to find freedom. And that's the key right there with Connect groups. It's discovering more of who God is. It is creating that community and finding that freedom through Connect groups, and even in purpose. And then just making a difference. When we know who we are, when we know who God is, when we have that community of friends and people that we could trust, we're able to be confident in who God created us to be and to make a difference. So I want to encourage you, get in a connect group, encourage our guests that are coming in on the weekend to get plugged in to a connect group, and the importance and why we do that. And it's just such an opportunity for them to experience more of God in their life. That is pretty much one thing I do want to, one other thing I want to just talk about is, a couple weeks ago, Pastor Q spoke on team night. I want to continue to remind you guys to have that healthy heartbeat, to have that healthy pattern of serving, which I believe we all are doing as red shirts. But make sure you guys are attending a weekend service. Make sure you're getting in there, you're worshiping, you're hearing the word, because we want you to be healthy in this next season. Don't forget, we have water baptism coming up June 1st, Saturday, 10 a.m. at Fred Howard Park. Don't forget to just look over the events page, because we do have middle school camp going on, high school, and day camp that's happening in the week of July 8th. They're going to start promoting that soon, but look over that page, just be familiar with that. As you guys know, we've talked about several times, Growth Track is on a break, but yeah, that's what I got for you guys this week. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you this weekend.